Nigel Benn was a dominant champion whose destructive craft was learned coming up through the ranks of the British Army. At the time of the fight, he was a lance corporal and had deployed, sent to Northern Ireland when the troubles flared up. Nigel took up boxing and quickly proved himself the toughest man in the service. He won his first Army title at welterweight. By the time of his discharge, it took heavyweights to even hang with him. This also became a signature of his entrance, as he was led to the ring by a military drum corps to the adoration of the British public. He turns pro and juggernauts his way through the middleweight scene, putting the fear of God in his opponents with either hand. Nigel Benn didn't box so much as he attempted murder.
As he can. But Ben won't let this go on, and neither will the referee. It's all over. Oh, and he nailed him there, and he made it though. He just got 10 seconds. Now the referee will...
Nigel, even by your standards, that was fairly rapid, 16 seconds.
Yeah, well, you know, he came out, he was giving me the eye and all that. I don't like people giving me the eye, you know, and it really bugs me.
Combined with his military service, Nigel Benn was an overnight sensation. Nigel took one early loss after running out of steam against the shockingly tough Michael Watson. Benn learned his lesson and became a more complete fighter. Chris, simply the best Eubank, cut his own violent swath through middleweight. At age 16, after run-ins with the law in London, he moves to New York to live with his mother. It was in the South Bronx where he wanders into the legendary Stillman's Gym. Chris turns pro at age 19 and returns to London. The skills he learned in the Bronx brought him to the top of the British boxing scene.
I am the man, and I will continue to be the man for as long as I am undefeated. I am the man.
As always, click that like button and subscribe to stay up to the minute on all sweet science. They kept destroying everything in their path. Nigel had crossed the ocean to put a one-round beatdown on Iran Barkley.
Ben caught with the very first shot, raised a right hand, and he staggered them already. Well, oh my God. He's done him on the rope. He's him a bit, Jim. He's got, oh, that shook him right to the boots. Got Barkley there. Had to go down in the... What a round. He's done him again. Remember now, the 3 knockdown rule of WBO is in effect if he goes down once more in this round.
Nigel brought the WBO middleweight title home from the States. Just a month later, Chris Eubank posts one of the most violent first-round KOs in boxing history. Not only making a statement of intent to prove he was the best middleweight in Britain, he also inspired the next generation of British knockout artists. A young Nassim Hamed was in the crowd and soon started vaulting the ropes himself. The fight was made, and press conferences between the two were worth their weight in gold.
He's all hype, you know, and I can't wait to November the 18th to give him a good hiding.
I've watched him on tapes watching me, right? You know I can take your boy. You're petrified, and I know you are. Your boy's mine. It's done. It's a foregone conclusion.
This is great. Hold up. Now we can do business. Now we can do business. You hear me?
Nigel Benn was a no-nonsense hard man who needed to hate his opponent. Chris Eubank, with his sing-songy voice and noble stylings, gave Nigel all the ammunition the Lance Corporal needed. Best of all was the contrast between the cold menace of the Dark Destroyer.
Well, you know, I hit him, they go.
And Eubank, who just kept killing him with kindness.
For sure.
I don't hate the man. I just want a WBO title. I have nothing to say to Nigel. I find the man intolerable in that he's so wild. I have no time for such people. He has no class as far as I see it.
The entire media run-up to the fight, Eubank refused to ever look Nigel Benn in the eyes. Nigel Benn grew to hate his guts because he had to.
All right, gentlemen, you both signed the contract.
I personally do hate him. I personally do hate him.
The night of the fight, however, Eubank could not ignore the angry menace of Nigel Benn. From that moment, Nigel never took his eyes off Eubank. You can feel the hate radiate off of him in the stare down. The ever-cheeky Eubank offers him a glove down low. Nigel drops a hammer fist on it. The bell rings, and Chris Eubank skips backwards out of his corner with intent to decapitate. From that moment on, it was on. Nigel storms forward, bobbing in low, and trying to run through Chris Eubank. Eubank splits his time, sidestepping the wrecking machine and throwing back bombs in combinations. Benn had success in round 2, using a lead right hand to time Chris as he tried to pivot off the ropes. Eubank made a note of it and made an adjustment. He stopped retreating and focused completely on countering Nigel's jab. He stood his ground in front of the hardest puncher in the British Isles and waited for him, still as stone, expecting a jab. When he got it, Eubank fired back in combination.
Storming him.
Ben is in trouble. That was a bullet left hook.
Jump on the ropes and taking punishment. Big trouble. This comes back. This is what he did against Logan.
Later in the round, Benn caught him on another lead right hand.
Eubank having to dance.
Eubank tried the uppercut and come unstuck. Ben caught him with a counter.
Once more, Chris stood, frozen in time, and Nigel couldn't help but jab. Chris parries and nails Nigel with a nasty combination, chases him to the ropes as all hell broke loose as the round came to an end.
This comes back. This is what he did against Logan.
He's at his most dangerous now.
His legs are gone, Ben.
Eubanks has got him. There's big trouble here. This is it. Now what? Be careful.
This is what I was saying all along. Eubanks is accurate to get the man in trouble.
There's the bell.
Nigel turned up the intensity of his stalking pressure. He started landing vicious body punches.
This man is lethal when he's hurt.
Finally, he started wilting Eubank. A picture-perfect uppercut on the inside made Chris Eubank nearly bite his tongue in half before folding him with a left hook to the body. Eubank stayed the stoic course. As the rounds wear on, Nigel's eye starts to close. In round 5, Benn slips a punch and one of those mean left hooks to the body strays far below the belt. Chris takes his time as he waits to redescend. It was all he could do to hang on.
It's moments like this can turn fights, depending on the reaction from the fighter. Chris has just caught Nigel with a good right hand.
The rule says that the referee can give...
Nigel kept crumbling his foundation, one sledgehammer at a time. That until Eubank walks Nigel onto a perfect 1-2 that rocks him. All it seemed to do was call the soldier out of the Lance Corporal. The next round, Nigel lands a straight right that drops Eubank to his knees. The ref rules it a knockdown. Chris was up in seconds, arguing it was a slip. At the end of the round, Nigel couldn't help but mock Eubank's unique strut. Eubank starts complaining to the referee about clean body punches being low. It's a clear sign Nigel is doing damage, so he doubles down on it. But his eye was too far gone to see the straight rights coming anymore.
Trying to come back. I think this is a desperate round for the champion. He was so tired.
He's really at 6s and 7s here. He's in big trouble. Eubanks has got to take this opportunity. Here we go. It's all over. It's all over.
Richard Steele jumps in and saves the hardest man in England. Nigel breaks down, and so does Chris.
What he would do, and he has gone out and done it.